So we are discussing about the HANA administration topic. In the HANA administration, the first main important thing is HANA installations. That what we discussed in the last class, right? HANA installation. When you do the HANA installation, there are the 5 core HANA process will be created. Here, so we are logging to the HANA. So with the root user, then password will not be typed here. You need to just make sure you need to type the correct password here, then you will get the prompt here. Okay, so here we need to check the what databases we have installed here, right? So using the HDB LCM tool, we have done the HANA installation here, right? So there is a HDB LCM tools. So that is there in the slash media. In the media, so we have that file is there here. That folder is there. In that PDF folder, we have the SAP HANA. There is a folder. In that folder, we have the files are available HDB LCM, HDB LCM GUI, HDB LCM web. So this is the for the new installation tools. From starting from SPS 10, ANA 1.0 SPS 10 onwards, SAP introduced the HDB LCM tools to do the installation. This is for the uninstallation. This is for the update. Then what about the HDB INST? When we don't have the HANA database lifecycle management tools, HDB LCM tools, the people will do the installation using HDB INST only. We can also do the HDB INST, but you will not get the proper functionality. So recommends after SPS 10 onwards, you need to use the HDB LCM tool only. This is also installation file only. This is also installation file. This is also installation file. But this is the old method. This is the new method here. Dot slash HDB LCM. So use this command to perform the installation. So once the installation is done, suppose you created as a HDB. Then can you go on mute, please? Okay. So here we need to log into the so with root user you have done the installation, but not always use the root user for the administration activities. You need to use the SID ADM user. So which means you need to switch SU hyphen HDB ADM. Why? Because SID we have installed like a HDB ADM. This is the SID we have done the installation here, right? SID ADM user. Then you switch to the SID ADM. Then to check whether my HANA database is up and running or not, right after the installation. Then HDB space info. Then you will see the nothing is running, which means HANA database is not started status. Just execute the HDB space start. Then HANA database will be started status here, right? HANA database is getting started. It won't start immediately. It will take some time, maybe 2 minutes max. Why? Because all the data, when you are starting the HANA database, the data will be loaded to the main memory. That is the reason it is starting. See here, HDB info, when you type the HDB info with SID ADM, you did not get any process here. Any process here. So, but after starting, you observe it here, then what and all the things you see, right? So here, normally to perform the HANA administration activities, you need to use the HDB HANA Studio. You have to use it here. HANA Studio is the one of the desktop tool which we have to download from the service marketplace. Then we can install it. Small file, same as like how we installed the WinSAP, how we installed the Putty. Same way we have to install the HANA Studio. It's a desktop tool. Everybody desktop it is available. In case of if it is not available in here, then you can see it here. If it is not available, then go to the SAP HANA, then folder, go to the Windows bar, then here you see the SAP HANA, then click on the HANA Studio or right click, just pin to taskbar and everything. Then HANA Studio will be opened. So HANA Studio will be opened. To perform the HANA Studio, all the administration part, you need to use the HANA Studio. You have to use it here. Here you see the some entries already configured in my HANA Studio. Why? Because it's specific to the my user. So that's why it's configured. Let me remove all those things. For you, you will get the empty page. Empty page, you will get it out here. Previously configured entries are there, so those entries are available here. For you, you will get the empty page here. Then you need to open the administration console. There you need to go ahead and add the systems here. You need to add the systems here. Here you see you then HANA database is started. You got the OK symbol, you got the prompt, then HANA database is started status here. Then how can I know, sir? When you execute the HDB start, it's taken some time, then it started. But let me type the HDB info here, right? You see the when you type the HDB info, previously when you type the HDB info, then there is no process here. HANA process, HANA family members are not exist here. But now after starting, when you see here, all the process like name server, compile server, p processor, index server, access engine, web dispatcher, and we have the daemon. So seven core processors are available in their HANA, right? These are the seven core processors are there in HANA, which means HANA is started here. If this process are showing OS level, when you type the HDB info, then HANA is started status here. HANA started status here. But when you type the HDB, now you see the free-g memory, then the memory is the 8 GB used now. 8 GB only used now here. So, which means now if you stop it here, HDB stop. HDB stop, then HDB start. HDB stop means it's stopping the HANA database here. Start means it's starting the HANA database here, right? Now I am stopping here. Now after stopping, you see the memory usage here, it will be reduced. After starting, it will be increased. Now what's happening here? Which means HANA is the in-memory concept. All the data will resides inside of the memory, inside of the RAM memory only here, right? Now you see, so previously 8 GB, now we have only 2 GB here, means 6 GB got freed up. 6 GB got freed up from the main memory. Main memory means your HANA database 6 GB got freed up from the main memory. Why means this 6 GB is related to the HDB data, the standard data, HDB standard data, which got released here, right? So that is the reason here. So someone also trying to install the database also here. I can see the process here, 4521. Okay, so now if you see now HDB space info, there is no process here, no process here. Why? Because HANA is not started. Now if you type the HDB space start it here, now HANA will be started status here. Now HANA is getting started status here. So HANA is getting started now. Now when it is started fully, then the memory will be increased here. Memory will be increased here. So now with HANA Studio, now HANA Studio is the one of the desktop tool. Using this HANA Studio, you can monitor the HANA databases. You can monitor the HANA databases using the HANA Studio, right? HANA Studio. What are the monitoring tools you need to use it here? Why? Because like you installed in the Linux level. Then SAP also installed in the middle layer. Then how you do the administration activities of the SAP, right? Using the SAP logon pad here. For HANA, using the HANA Studio. Then SQL Server Studio. Database, DB2, there is no command prompt only. Sybase command prompt only. Only for SQL Server and so this MaxDB Studio, and then HANA DB Studios are available to do the administration tools. These tools we have to install in the our our desktops or our laptops, your front end where you log in, there you need to install it here. So now it is started. Now you see here HDB info, all the process are started again. Then free-g to check the memory. Now it's 11 GB used, which means 11 GB got used. The people are using, that's why 11 GB got memory used space here. Which means what occupied in the 11 GB, this HANA database is started, which means in the in-memory, the data got stored here. Then what next after that? Right? So then you need to use the HANA Studio. Then there is a plus symbol, add system here, add system here, right? Click on the plus symbol here. Then what is the host name? You need to add the systems. How in the SAP login pad you will add the systems? Similarly, you need to add the host name is called the SCP KPS4 HANA. That is our host name. Then what is the instance number? HDB instance number 00. That is the instance number you have given during the installation time. Then multi-container. Why? Because it's a multi-container. Then system DB. So system DB. System DB you are adding now. Just type the SDB or whatever you want. You can keep it here. Then next, what is the database user system? Why? Because initially we have to authenticate like a system user. Then what is the password? So password, maybe we will keep it like a, not sure what is the password for this one. Who installed this one? Not sure who installed this one. Anybody knows who installed this HDB database? Can you ping the password separately? Someone during the installation time you kept one password, right? What is the password for this HDB? Who installed this one? Why? Because without that system password, we cannot log in now. We cannot do anything now. So anybody?
I thought you were the one that installed that, Ravi.
No.
The
After that, after I installed, I deleted actually. I deleted, right?
Okay, you uninstalled it. Okay, okay.
Okay. Someone installed, I guess they have pinged the password. So thank you. Let me try this way. Okay, good, great. It's added. Thank you. So then that is the password. We got it here, right? Please use this database for your monitoring and administration purpose here, right? I added the system DB here. Same time, I am also going to add the tenant DB. Sir, why we have to use the two databases? But HANA 2.0, this is the multi-container. Multi-container means multiple databases. Means by default during the installation, you will get the one system DB and one tenant DB. You will get it out here. So one system DB and the second one is the tenant DB. You will get here. So I am going to add the one system DB and I'm on tenant DB. I'm adding here, right? So then yes, done. So I added the system DB and a tenant DB like that. In your organizations you have the hundreds of databases you need to add it manually. First time you need to add it manually. Definitely you need to add it here. So then once you add it one time, that is permanent. Then after that you close it as per your day of done. Then again you are opening the HANA Studio. Then again those entries will be there. Those entries will be there. Just you need to launch it here.
Can you just go back like 1 minute where you added the tenant DB?
Yes, here I have added. You want to add me again?
Can I? Yeah, because I mean, like,
Okay, let me
I
add.
just tried to.
Okay. So nothing. Let me remove everything. Okay. This is my HANA Studio. In any case, your HANA Studio, something, this is a, see here, this is a minimize, maximize button, minimize, maximize button, minimize, maximize button. You, this new to you, what you will do sometimes, it may get minimized. Then you won't see anything here to add it. Sometimes this will be minimized. Then sometimes this will be maximized. So you will face this type of things here, right? You see nothing is there to add it now. Which means your HANA Studio is corrupted? No, actually some minimize, maximize buttons, you unclicked it, it got created some that button got removed. So in that case, what you have to do in case your HANA Studio got corrupted, no, you are unable to see the add system buttons here. Go to the window perspective, right? Reset perspective. Okay, window. In any case, whatever the screen you are, just go to the Windows perspective, then reset the perspective. Your HANA Studio will back to the normal status. See why? Because it's multiple clips. This is the one screen. This is the one window. This is the one window. There are the multiple windows. But sometimes what happens? Suddenly, unfortunately, you may click the minimize button or maximize button. Sometimes like that. this window will be closed. Then, so don't worry, just go to the Windows perspective, the reset the perspective here, then you will get the previous screen again, standard screen. Okay, here there is a add symbol is there, add system symbol. Just click on the add system. Then you will get the sub prompt here. Here you need to add the host name. What is your operating system name, where you install the HANA database, that we will call it as the host name here, right? Instance number 00, that what we installed. But if you install the separate, then you can use it. Then add the system DB or tenant DB, whatever it may be, there is no order. You can add the system DB, tenant DB also, you can add it. But at a time, two are not possible, only one. Tenant DB, so tenant DB aside is the HDB. Then system password. Sir, why you are using the system main? That is the password, right? You use it during the installation time. So same. Why? Because we don't have any user. How we have the SAP star DDS user. Similarly, you can use the system user for the HANA databases for default user. If you type small mistake also here, wrong mistake, small mistake or something, so it won't connect it here. It won't connect it here. Suppose instead of 00, you type the 01. You type the 01. So instance number 01, you typed it, everything is correct. But when you're trying to connect, it won't connect. It won't connect. So then you type it differently. Sorry, this is correct. I correctly typed it, user ID, password, everything is correct. Then it will add it immediately. It will add it immediately here. So you see here, so two systems you have added. Right click and go to the administration, or so double click on it here. It will open the administration page. It will open the administration page here. HANA administration page you have opened here, right? So tenant also you can open it here. System DB, tenant DB, both the database will be created. This is the HANA 2.0. This is the HANA 2.0. You have installed it here. HANA 2.0 is a multi-container. We will share it. Okay, don't worry. Don't worry about the password. I will share it. This is the multi-container in one host. This is your operating system. In the operating system, you have installed the HANA database here. So then first you will get the one system DB. Then on top of you will get the one tenant DB. You will get it out. System DB and tenant DB you will get here. This is the SDB. This is the tenant DB. This is the structure here, right? So then after that, after some days, there is a requirement to add the new tenant. Then you can add the new tenant by executing the query. By executing the query, n number of tenants, n number of floors, you can build it. On top of on ground floor, system DB is the ground floor, tenant is the first floor. Apartment concept means, first of all, the builder will construct like a G and plus 1 construction house. He will build it, right? When build apartment. Then after that, depends upon the permission, depends upon the number of things, then he will keep on increasing the floors. He will keep on increasing the floors in one host. He will keep on increasing the number of floors. He can increase it. Sir, how many? Infinity? No. In our side, we have not infinity here. Up to default, except default one, you can create the up to 19 tenant DBs. You can create it here. There is a one more tenant DB, one more tenant DB, one more tenant DB, one more tenant DB, one more tenant DB. Means multiple tenants we can create it on top of the existing system DB. Ground floor is only one. We don't need multiple ground floors, right? Ground floor means only one. Means system DB is only one. But tenants means floors. We can create multiple. Same as like tenants also, we can create the multiple tenants. But how many? 19. 19 tenants we can manually create it here. 19 tenants we can create it in a one host. 19 tenant we can create it. You no need to install the 19 databases again with the database software. Just use the query to create it. That's why this is called the multi-database container. HANA 2.0 is the multi-database container. When you do the HANA installation by default, you will get the one system DB, one tenant DB. By default, you will get the one system DB, one tenant DB. Sir, what is the difference between system DB and tenant DB? What is the difference between the ground floor and first floor? Both are same, right? Database. But ground floor, normally owners will stay inside of the ground floor, right? Tenants will stay in the tenant database. That's why we will call it as the tenants DB. So, right, but what is the difference here? So when you are creating the HANA database here, when you are installing the HANA database, so there the seven HANA family members will come. Seven HANA family core members will come, right? Core members. What are the core members here, right? Index server. Then second one, name server. Third one, pre-processor. Then fourth one, compile server. Then fifth one, web dispatcher. The sixth one, access engine. Then seventh one, daimon. These are the seven family members will come. Father, mother, child, kids, like that in our family. How we have the seven family members are there. Sir, then I asked you to explain about the difference between the system DB and tenant DB, but you are explaining about the seven core process, or what is this? No. So this is related to that topic only. So don't worry. Even though if you don't ask, I will ask the questions myself itself. Okay. So here system DB, tenant DB. What is the difference here? System DB contains only five process here. System DB contains five process. So that is the name server, preprocessor, compile server, then the web dispatcher and access engine that will be there in the system DB. Then in the tenant database, we have the in access engine and index server. These two are in the two processor in the tenant database. Remaining five are in the system database. Here total seven work process DV, EB, MGS. Yes, yes, we have the two process message server, NQ server. Remaining five will be in the where remaining five will be in the application server, right? SAP application server, we have the remaining five work process, right? So this is the same. So five HANA core process will be in the system database, remaining two will be in the tenant database. Sir, here also you mentioned like one more tenant, if we can create one more tenant, we can create one more tenant, we can create one more tenant, one more tenant. Then means each tenant you will get the two process. Yes, each tenant you will get the XI, access engine and IX. Then each tenant you will get the IX. Each tenant, if you create the one more tenant, then IX. Then each tenant you will get the IX. So like that, up to 19 index servers you will get it out. Right? Sir, here I don't understand. Family members you mentioned. Okay, these are the family members. In our house also we have the family members. In our house, so we have the each person, each family member, there is a responsibilities, right? Then what about this work process responsibility, HANA core process responsibilities here, right? So here normally system DB, tenant DB. Now you got the differences. System DB is only five process, tenant DB is only two process here. System DB is only manage the all the tenants only. System DB will manage the all the tenants, just only managing purpose, controlling purpose of the tenant DB. So you can tenants, all the tenants. So what in the apartment in the ground floor, what the owner will do? Owner is responsible to manage the all the floor tenants, all the tenants, and all the calculations of the tenants, the like the monthly rent and all those things. He will monthly maintenance, monthly rent. He will take care of. He will take care of all those things, right? So same as like here, system DB will control the all the tenants. If you want to if you want to remove the tenant, you need to go with the via system DB only. If you want to stop this thing, you need to go with the system DB only, right? Suppose if the unknown person is coming, first of all, you need to consult the owner means ground floor, then only you will go to the related person, he will go and he will do the some changes, right? Same as like here also, system DB. System DB is only responsible for monitoring the all the tenants, managing the all the tenants and everything. Managing means So either stopping the tenants, deletion of the tenants, so taking the backup, restore, parameter changes, whatever you want, you need to go with the from via so system DB only. You cannot directly do anything in the tenant database. But what is the advantage of the tenant DB here then? Everything is doing by this one, but what is the advantage of the system DB, tenant DB? Tenant DB is the master, yet all the data resides, all the business data, all the tables, so everything will resides in the tenant database only. All the applications, all the tools like AI tools, all the warehouse tools, all the SAP applications will connect to the tenant database only, not the system DB, right? Why? Because so system DB has the different responsibility, tenant DB has the different responsibility. What about this means tenant DB? Then here, who is the main here now? System DB or tenant DB? Where the business data stores, all the calculations will happen.
Tenant.
Yes, tenant DB. So why? Because in the tenant we have the index server. Index server is the father of the database. Index server is the father of the database. So all the data resides means all the data sits in index server only. All the data sits in index server only. That's the reason normally index server in the is the father of the database. Sir, then what about if it is the father? Who is the mother then? Who is the kids? Who are the kids here? Then, so we will come one by one. So here, index server. Index server is the father of the database. Normally, we will call it as. Then the responsibility is like index server. All the calculations, all the data resides in the index server only. The residing the all the database will be done in the index server only. Then what, sir? Entire data is residing in index server. Then what the other process will do? Other process will help. In our home, if you are the father, then in our father is the main person. He will do the all the loads, calculations, and managing the home and maintaining the home and so maintaining the our kids roles, everything he will manage it. That's why we will call as a father. He is the main person in house, main pillar in our house, right? So he will all the loads, burdens, calculations, everything he will take care of. We don't need, right? That's why we will call it as the father. Father of the database is the index server. Then all the data resides inside of the, so data resides inside of the index server here, right? All the data resides inside of the index server. In the index server contains the all the data, business data, which is coming from the applications or tools. Everything will go index server. Inside of the index server, data is available, tables are available. It will pull the data. Sir, one word you said like everything will be handling by the index server only. Then what is the use of the other processor? Sorry, in our home also we have everything is handling by the father. Then what is the use of the mother, kids, so childs, what about the other process? Right? We don't need, right? Yes, it's required. But because if all are there, then only we have the family. Right? Here also index server is the main process. So the others will help to the father, right? Same as like other process will help to the index server here. So all the data resides inside of the index server. Index server contains the some engines are there inside of the engines are there. Those engines will help to fetch the data, to store the data, changing the queries, languages, everything will be done by the index server. So one single statement, index server is the main process in the database. All the data, queries, calculations, residing, everything will be done in the index server only. Then one last statement in the index server main. Then what about the name server? Name server is available in the system DB. Name server holds the topology related information. Topology means host name. In the database language, we will call it as the total topology. Means topology means host name, instance number, SID, IP address, all the details will be stored. Means technical details will be holds by the name server. This will help to the index server. Sir, small responsibility only. Name server, yes. Name server, it has only small responsibility. It will holds the topology related information. That's it. Nothing will do apart from that. So then what about the P processor? P processor processing the unstructured data. Processing the unstructured data. Processing the unstructured and will help to index server. Same as like this is also will help to the index server. Just like to add one more word, will help to the index server. All process will help to the index server. Sir, processing the unstructured data means what? So normally whenever whenever sometimes data will come to the database level with different layers, different formats, different sources, multiple sources data will come to, but sometimes some data is not in the format. So format means not in the format, means structured. Why? Because data is a collection of the C++ programs, which means do while, nested while. So there is a program, sir, do we need to store all the data like this? So something like that, do while, nested if conditions, and so all conditions, do I need to write it here? Any data I want to store it database level, do I need to write it? No, not required. Even though data in the text format, some columns which in the not in the correct order, your compile server, sorry, preprocessor will process the unstructured data into structured data and will help to the index server to store the data. Finally, every process will help to the index server, will give you the data to the index server to store the data. Right? Compile server, compilation of the programs and reports and stored procedures. Compile server. So
Ravi, just a hold. So it processes the unstructured data. I'm talking about the pre-process. So it processes the unstructured data and then it gives it a structure. So it gives a rational, it converts into an RDBS kind of thing.
yeah, if some text data if is coming to the database level, preprocessor will take care of responsibility to convert into the database understandable language. Then will give it to the index server to store the data. That is only one work will be done by the preprocessor. If
Oh,
any data which is in the not in the correct format, that will be
then an
converted.
example of unstructured data. What is unstructured data here?
Unstructured means this is not in the structure. Structured data means normally
It's
structured
in
data
the
means
form of
your
table.
if
Yeah.
condition. Normally database is a collection of the all the C++ languages. C++ languages programs means what? You have to write the do while, nested while, so something like, so there is a form programs, not in the structured. So which means if any text data which is coming, which is in the not in the structured format, this will convert into the, it will process the unstructured data also. Means if any unstructured data coming, it will convert into the database understandable structured format, and as per their binaries and coding, then it will help to the index server to store the data.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So compile server, compilation of the programs and stored procedures. Sir, database is written, you said like database written into the, so C++ languages means kind of programs only, right? There are some stored procedures, not only data. Database means what? It will store the data. But before storing the data, database is a collection of the all the programs and everything they have written. That's why that is database. Even if you want to build the one database, you need to write a programs, queries. You need to write it all the ways. Then only he will that one database will be built, any database. So then, so sometimes what happens, this compile server, in case of some new program coming to the database level, some stored procedures, some new programs, example, new program is released by the SAP, that new program is coming to your database level means, so this will, to avoid that, to compilation of the programs and stored procedures will be done by the compile server, which means it will compile it. It will compile it and will speed up, means compilation means speed up. It will speed up that the program processor, program processing the results, then will help to the index server to store the data. Which means if you ask compile server to process the unstructured data, it won't process. Why? Because every person has own responsibility. Father related activities, name server, So only it will holds this type of information, preprocessor, this type of information, compile server, compilation of the program. Simple example, you have the bike, right? You have the bike petrol is there, diesel petrol bike is there, so you are riding, that's fine, but you need engine oil as well, right? To compile the in the engine, to compile the engines related parts, means programs and everything, you need engine oil as well. Then only it will run the smoothly, right? Then only if you don't have engine oil, somewhere it will be stopped status, somewhere it will stop it, it will give the some problems, right? Maybe this is related to this example, compile server, compilation, compile it, the engine, in the engine oil, in the engine oil will compile the all the parts, everything, it will be compile it, so that it will go very smoothly. So recently what I have done it, so I have one bike actually, Honda. So there is no actually 2 years back I done the engine oil changes and everything. It's giving very huge sound, and not sure when it will give a very huge sound. So very huge sound from the engine. So I thought of, okay, here the compile server is not doing this duty because of the compile server, the engine oil is not there. So then what I will do, what I have done is I went to the mechanic and I poured the engine oil. So then after that, after pouring the engine oil, then engine the sound is not coming from the engine. Very smoothly it is running my bike now, which means I understand that time, okay, compile server doing is this duty, like compilation of the in the engine, whatever the parts the engines are there, engine, if you open the inside of the engine, you will see the, it will compile it, it will up and down, it will compile it. So this will doing the compilation of the all the programs and stored procedures for the smooth run, it will compiling.
Yeah. One question here. So compilation of programs, it is more like running SGen, isn't it?
Right, exactly.
So we do it only once. Why do we need a server for this? And when it comes to stored procedures, so we really don't write any stored procedures in HANA, because I think last I wrote was I still write stored procedures in Oracle.
Yeah,
I,
we still like, yeah, the developers will do the many programs, new customized programs, many customized procedures, they will develop it, right? That we will call it as the HANA modelers. They are the developers, they will work on the here. That is the new program. That is the new stored procedure they have developed. Then then that should be compiled, right? That should be compiled. Then only it will run very smoothly. Then otherwise it will keep on same as like SGen. Suppose if you don't have the SGen in SAP, what will happen? It will be very slow. Means it will compilation. Now, suppose the best example, if you see here, when you are doing the, maybe last time also we faced, when you are opening the something, so compilation of the program, something like that you are getting, right? Something like now you will get immediately. Something like, let me open something. See here, compiling. What it is doing? It is compiling the all the programs to speed up purpose, right? So similar way in the database level also. So we have the compile server in the HANA database. This will do the type of work here, compilation of the programs and stored procedures.
so it does compile on demand. So as
On
we
demands only,
write,
yeah, on demands only, not regularly, on demands only.
yeah. So because my understanding of stored procedure for 2.0 HANA was that whenever we write a program in SAP, the HANA stored it as my program will get stored as a stored procedure.
Right.
So when I execute, it actually basically calls for the stored procedure to run in the memory. And because it was something they told us, because I understood that we don't process anything in the application server, but everything gets processed in the database, in the system view.
Right, exactly. Correct. You are correct. It's correct. Procedures.
Oh.
Yeah, normally when they are working, so that time when you write for anything, that will be stored into the database level as a procedures. Yes, right. You are correct.
Thank you. I got it clarified today. Thanks.
Yeah. Nothing. Just if we can compare it to the our own real life situations, easily you can understand these things and everything what they are doing. One line sentence also fine. You can assume many things. Yeah. Next one is the web dispatchers actually. So web dispatcher. What is the web dispatcher, sir? Here, sir. Web plus dispatcher. Web means browser, internet, browser based request. So web dispatcher will will handle the web-based request. Simple web-based request. Web dispatcher will handle the web-based request, will hand over to access engine. Access engine. Then what the access engine will do? Access engine process the all web-based request. Will authenticate means everything will process the web-based request. Sir, HANA SQL port, SQL server port, so the index server, everything will handle it. Then what is the use of the web dispatcher at an access engine here? Web dispatcher will handle the web-based request. Web-based means what? Web means browser-based request. Sometimes the people they will open the some of the programs they will some of the applications, some of the access applications, some of the internet-based applications they will develop it that will generate the URL. Through URL, they will log into the how they will connect to the our HANA systems. That time, web dispatcher will handle that web-based request, will forward just only taking the and dispatching the request to the dispatching and taking and dispatching to whom? Access engine. Access engine will process the all the web-based request. Why? Because access engine we have the UAA agents. I will go deeply in coming. So it will contains the some of the internal authentication mechanisms are available. It will verify it whether this user is valid or not. Then only it will process the web-based request and everything here. So both are so on demand only. This is also on demand only. Why? Because if any web-based request, then only it will handle it. Otherwise, it will keep it silent. It will keep it silent. All those do things here. Then daimon is like a these all are so suppose this is a father, then remaining also are the childs or sons, something like that. But what about the sir? Father means that definitely there should be a mummy, right? Then who is the mummy here? Then daimon is the mummy here, right? What this mummy will do? Mummy, so what the normally in our home mummy will do in case of any child or parent if in the sick status or stopped status, sick status means in our layman language sick status. In the database language, if any out of the 7 6 process, if it is the stopped status or error status or some inconsistency status due to some issues, then immediately daemon will go and give the boost to them, will bring up to the online status here. Sir, how this is possible? Yes, it is possible, daemon. So daemon will process if any process is in the sick status, sick, or normally in the database language, any status is in the error status or stopped status, daemon immediately it will go, it will give some boost to that process and will become a active status here. How the what the mother will do. That's why mother of the database and father of the database here. Sir, can you give the one example here? Yes, I can give the example here. So here you see when you add to the HANA Studio here, there is a initial home page is called the overview tab here. In the overview tab, the first page is called the overview tab here. It will give you the information like whether all the process are started or not. What is the system usage when you started the database? What is the database version? Is it a distributed system or not? No. When was the build time, what is the sushi linux version, you will get the all the overview. When you purchase a one book in the outside, when you open the book index summary, then you will see the how many units are there, each unit in which page, that will give you the information, right? Same as like here also, when you open the HANA Studio, in the HANA Studio you will see the all the process related information, like when was the started, what is the system, whether all the services are started or not, what is the HANA used memory, what is the resident memory, what is how many CPUs are using here, what is the disk usage here. So all the information it will give you in the in this format here. Errors, logs, alerts, everything. So when you go to the next tab here, I will come to this topic again. So don't worry. We will go to landscape tab again. You can see the HANA all the process here. compile server, daemon server, index server, name processor, p processor, access engine here. Then, so each and every active, whether active or not, host or not, port number, when was started. So what is the CPU consumption? What is the memory? For us, how the food and water is very important. Food and water is very important for the humans. In the system, in the machine, if any process is running, memory and CPUs are very important for them. Memory and CPUs are food and butter and so food and water is for them. For us, this is very important. So for process which are running in the system level, memory is required and some amount of CPUs also required here. Then only the process will run successfully. Otherwise, the process it won't run. For us also, if we have the enough food, enough memory is there, then we are good. We are active status. Then if we don't have, then immediately we will go to the 6 status. Suppose example here, as I discussed, daemon will take care of the remaining all the process, if anything. Suppose like, let me stop the one of the process here. So I cannot directly download, I cannot directly stop from the tenant DB. System DB is the responsible to stop the process and everything, right? So then what I will do, I will stop the web dispatch. One of the process, I'm going to kill it here manually. So this is the stopped status, right? Immediately system will go to the system cannot be started and not all the process are started and everything you will go, if you refresh it, it will do. So it will done. So this is the stopped status here. This is the stopped status here. Just click on the refresh button. Again, why it is started? 10:40 you started all the process here, entire database, but 11:18 there is a restart happened. Then how it got started? Who started? Daemon, mummy. So daemon will given the boost to web dispatcher, means it will clear the error status. It will take into the active status here. It will take into the active status. Even though if you stop it, then if you kill it, whatever you do, just wait for, just refresh. Now you stop.
One more thing, there are 6 processes there now, or is it 7?
Yeah, I will explain. I will come to this point also. Now it is active. Why? Because system DB, this is a system DB. System DB, how many process we have? 5 process only. Except index server and access engine. Same, this is not the, this is a by default process. This you can ignore it. SAP start as a V process. This is not the HANA process, but this will be there for to connecting purpose. But this you can ignore it. So compile server, daemon, name server, p processor, web dispatcher, these all are will be in the system DB. The only the 5 process will stay in the system DB. Remaining 2 are in the tenant DB. So that's why in that tenant DB, sir, in this case, tenant DB remaining 2 will be shown, right? No, remaining 2 plus system DB process also will show here. Sir, why it is getting confusing, right? System DB means it's only 2 process should be shown, right? Index server and access engine, right? Remaining 5 will be in the tenant DB. It should show. Then the calculations will be clear, right? Means yes, but in the design, in the HANA Studio design, it will show system DB process also. So in this way, maybe 5 are running on the tenant system database, remaining 7 are running in the tenant database, which means 2 names, 2 compile server, 2 daemons, 2 web dispatchers. No, it's same. Actually, it's come from the system DB. In the display screen, it is showing just in the display mode, it is showing like 7 process, but actually in the tenant DB, it is running only 2 process only. We want to see the example. You see, access engine. What is the port number for access engine? ID 3007. Not the access engine. Web dispatcher 3006. 3006. 17227. 17227. Suppose the example, one more thing, compile server 300110. It should be different, right? If it's the both the process are running, if the both are different, then it should be the different port number and different process ID 6862. Compile server 6862 and 3010, which means the 5 are running on system DB, remaining 2 are running on the tenant DB. But in the display screen, in the HANA Studio display screen, it is showing all the process. System DB process also it's showing in the one glance in one screen. It is showing in the here. In this way, so we have the 7 process: compile server, daemon, index server, name server, p processor, access engine, web dispatcher. But in that, only 2 are running in the tenant DB. Remaining 5 are in the So system DB, remaining 5 are in the system DB.
So if we have more than one tenant DB, like say 320 DB, so we will have two
Two
more
index
ports assigned.
servers, yeah. Two index, if the more than one tenant DB, in that tenant DB, we will see the different index server and a different access engine it will show.
Oh, but it will be a separate tab for that tenant DB.
Yeah, separate tab. Again, one more tenant you need to add it. Then one more tenant DB you need to add it separately.
Oh,
That is also we have the one class how to create the new tenants.
yeah, I was gonna ask that, but okay, thank
We
you.
have. We'll discuss. Okay, so I'm pausing here. What you need to do, you need to add the systems to the HANA Studio. Then just to review the first two tabs only. Again, tomorrow I will discuss about these two tabs. But again, you just see the add the systems to the HANA Studio. Just observe the overview tab and the landscape tab. Only these two tabs you can see. Again, tomorrow I will explain. Again, both the things I will explain it. But high level I explained. Just see it. What under the things you can see here. Just understand suppose tomorrow your manager will ask you, can you check what is the HANA DB version? Then in this case, you should know where to check it out. Can you check when was the last restart happened? Can you check what is the version of your Linux server? Like that you may get the questions. Who is the hardware manufacturer? Is it Dell, Inspiron or Microsoft? Microsoft.
Hello.
Hello?
Sir, here I have one doubt regarding this index server. So, like data, you said like index server, like all the data will be stored, right?
Right.
So, like if we want to store the data in first tenant DB, this HDB, like it will be stored here. If there is another tenant DB, it will be
Stored in
based on the
another
index.
tenant database index server.
Okay,
Multiple
okay.
tenants we can create it, but each tenant there is a separate data will be stored
Based on the index server. Okay.
based upon the index server. But if you ask tenant DB to store, system DB to store it, it won't store. Why? Because where the index server is available, tenant DB. Then one SAP application will connect to this tenant database. BW will connect to this database. CRM will connect to this tenant database, and another thing will connect to the another database. Means each tenant, each application will be connected. Respective application will be connected.
So, but it is more like a distributed databases.
Right.
Multiple databases. So data containers.
So in system DB, what data will be there, sir?
Nothing will be there in the system DB. Nothing. There is no data, business data. Only configuration of all the tenants, how my tenants are working, either my the tenants are paying the rent or not, my tenants are started or stopped status, that kind of information. There is no use of the system DB. But sir, why it's created means just managing purpose.
Okay, okay.
One more question. Can the tenant DBs talk with each other?
Yeah, cross tenant that we can configure it. There is a configuration is required, but it won't talk each other by default.
Okay.
It won't talk. The tenant DB separate. There is separate data will be stored. We can store it separate data. We can store it separate data. We can store it separate data. Separate business data, vendor data, master separately we can store it, but it will not talk each other. If you want to connect to this database, you need to connect to this tenant database only. But you should require the user ID password of this tenant. You should require the separate user is required in the each and every tenant database. Okay. It's like a other database. How you are connecting to the other database, same. Okay. That's it for today. So
Hi, sir. I have a question.
yes, please.
So I was not able to open that KPS for HANA.
KPS. Why you are unable to open? I am
Sir,
able to open, right? Where you are trying to open?
in Putty.
Putty is installed where?
Sorry, sir.
Putty